But what I like about this is that we are coming from different perspectives. Whereas I'm in my late 30s and I've been in the industry for a while. You're just entering, but this is what is awesome because we can bring different perspectives from our journeys and how, the development, the changes that women are experiencing in the sports industry. And by the way, I don't want to make this a sports exclusive podcast. Yes, we're on NESN, but there are a lot of industries that have been male dominant, not just sports, right? Finance and lawyers. My girlfriend's a lawyer back in Toronto, and she felt very isolated and secluded. So there are a lot of industries that are catching up and making, women, as they should be, equal partners in the industry with equal voices. So I really want to expand to that. But I like that you and I are going to have different perspectives about, how it started, how it's going. You're a college athlete. You can kind of see that, whereas I wasn't. And I've, been in the journey a little bit longer in the sense that I've seen a lot of the changes. And now you're going to help me see from your perspective what the changes that, were supposed to be happening. Are they paying off? What women are experiencing. With that, why don't you tell me a little bit about how you experience life as a college athlete or as a female that's trying to make it? And clearly you're on right now, so you're doing very well, but that's trying to make a name for herself in this industry. What's your experience been like?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think now that I'm a senior and I'm about to graduate in a couple of days, I have taken a lot of time to really reflect on that. And I've just been so thankful and really grateful for the opportunity that I had to play a college sport at Boston College and just the media opportunities that have come with that. I think there are so many strong and powerful women, whether it be former teammates that I had or coaches who have really led the way and shown me that you can live out your dream. And that was a huge part of my Boston College experience. The girls that came before me on the Boston College women's lacrosse team, they had gone to that national championship game for 3 years in a row. And that gave me the dream, I can do that. Like, that could be part of my college experience. And having the opportunity to have that dream realized in college was so cool. And it just reminded me that if those women hadn't gone before me and been so bold in what they wanted to do, I probably wouldn't have believed that for myself. And so in the same way, more on the media side of that, I actually had the opportunity to get on the phone with Molly McGrath. She's a ESPN analyst, and she was a cheerleader at Boston College who decided that she wanted to go into sports broadcasting. Boston College really didn't have that at the time when she was there, and so she went to the AD and kind of made her own path, and he gave her a pass for football games, and she did her own sideline hits, and she just told me on the phone, she's like, you need to learn how to make a no a yes, and you need to find a way. And I think her instilling that in me before I went into my senior year at Boston College when I wanted to pursue media, it really helped me just see that, okay, someone came before me and they did it. And so I think that's kind of just been the story with my female college athletic and media experiences. There's been so many people that have gone before me, and even someone like you, having the ability to watch you, getting on the phone before we even knew that we were going to do the podcast together. I've just been so blessed to have the right women and so many women in front of me to really encourage me, empower me, and show me really how to ball out at doing what they're doing.
I love that. And I love that you keep mentioning that you've got, you've had women to look at or to call and see that have kind of gone before you, so to speak. And I would say I absolutely had that as well, but on a very, very small scale. They weren't as accessible. And there were just maybe 2 or 3 that existed when I was in college, that at least existed visually. And that's not fair to say. I'm sure there were a lot of writers at NESN. We have a director that's been here for so long, Rose Marakian Wheeler, and she just celebrated an anniversary. She's behind the scenes, so you'd never know about her if you're watching. You'd never see her. So at least visibly, I didn't have that many women to reach out to and look up to. Although I'm not going to take credit for, doing this on my own. There were so many that I called and that were amazing. Catherine Tappan being one of them, former NESN employee and host here. Andy Petrillo, who's in Toronto, Jennifer Hedger, Martine Gaillard. So I did have some women that were always very receptive and wanted to help, wanted to push each other along. However, when I started, the women were still being put in these stereotypical roles. So you were either ringside or sideline, and there were maybe, I don't know, 10 jobs for you. Like that, I don't have the exact numbers, but it was like, okay, we'll sprinkle in a couple of women on our show or whatever, and their roles are ringside or sideline. Like that's what they could do. And so there weren't women analysts, there weren't women on the panel, there weren't women in the booth doing play by play or color. And there weren't women assistant GMs or GMs. I actually didn't believe, because I didn't see it, and maybe because I didn't want to do that. I knew I didn't want to do color or play by play, but I was like, that's it. It's sideline or bust, and that's what I thought, because that's all I could see. And because of the small amount of jobs for the many women that are interested in sports and we're finally getting a chance, it was a little catty at the beginning. It was a little competitive. You saw a woman and you were like, ooh, she's my competition. She's kind of my enemy, because there are, 5 jobs and 30 of us going for it. And so I remember feeling that way and like guilty of actually judging people right away, being like, is she better than me? Whatever that means, like buying into that like toxicity a little bit and feeling it in return. But it didn't last long, because I think there were so few of us kind of going for jobs or being at auditions or being on the road, that you ended up becoming friendly with each other, and you started talking, and I would do that on the road when I was traveling. And you're like, wait a minute, why am I competing against this person? Like, let's lift each other up. Let's be friends and support each other. If I get the job over her, if she gets the job over me, like that's a win for women. That is a win. It is. So let's just support each other. And that turned around really quickly.